Hi guys, my name is Sanya Singh Loda and today I'm going to be talking about how I dealt with my father's death through spirit communication, through chakra therapy, through meditation, through prayers and mantra chanting. So it was a very regular day. I had breakfast with him and then I went off to college. And I get a call at around 2:30 saying that my father suffered from a heart attack, and I was shocked. I didn't know how to react. Then I went back home. It took me half an hour. I was very restless when I went back home. And as soon as I reached, my brother called me and told me that he is no more. I clearly remember the words. It's like he is no more, and I was like, okay, because that time everything stops. I just wished that this was a dream. I wish my mom woke me up in the morning saying get up, you have to go to college, but nothing of this ever works. Nothing. The time is killing, you don't know how to react. It took me an hour to come back to my senses, to actually know what is happening around me, to actually process that he is no more. I was waiting under the building for 1 hour thinking how I'm going to deal with it, how I'm going to go up, face my mom. I had absolutely no idea what was going to happen. Somehow I gathered the courage. I was like, okay, I have to do this for my mother and nobody else. And thankfully my brother was also very strong. He was very supportive. Both of us had to be headstrong. We had no other option. So I went up. I gathered the courage, to go in front of her. It was killing. I mean, it's a horrible feeling. I hope none of any of you all go through this. It happened. I spoke to her. She was devastated. My grandmother was devastated. And slowly I knew that I had to, just take care of her now. There's no going back. He's not going to come back. So might as well now. It's better to look after her rather than I also sit and cry. My brother and I also sit and break down, because then there's nobody who's going to take care of us. So it happened, and then I was there with her, telling her to calm down. Of course, it does not happen. It is very difficult because you're in such a state of shock. It was a sudden death. It was like a regular morning, and it was just that his BP was going up and down, and the next minute we know that he has passed away. So it took me a while. Like, I was holding myself together for a really long time. In fact, till the time I saw his body. And till that whole time, the whole night, the whole day that was there, I continuously kept on chanting one mantra. That was Om Mani Padme Hum. I don't even know what that means. It was just there on my dashboard. So I was like, okay, whatever it means, I don't know. I'm just going to chant it. So at least some kind of strength I'm going to get to deal with it. So the night passed, the day passed, and everything happened. The next morning they got his body and put it in. I told my mom, which was very emotional. It was very ice cold. So I took my mother to him. I sat down next to him. His body was ice cold. That is the time when I actually realized, he's no more. But still I held myself together, because I knew my mom was with me, so I couldn't break down that point of time. And yeah, I was definitely crying. Not that I wasn't crying or anything, but I knew I couldn't break down at that point of time. Then I broke down completely when they were taking his body. That is the time when I literally cried. It's good that you cry so that you get a release. You should cry. It is good to cry, not that you shouldn't, or hold your tears back or no, but my situation was very different. I needed to stay strong so my mother does not break down. Took his body the next day. The cremation happened, everything. We came back, we got ready, much more settled, and I was like, okay, now what? He's gone. And the only thoughts that kept coming to me were, he did not complete his purpose of life. His dream was to travel 100 countries. He wanted to see the whole world. And it was very sudden that you feel very sad as to why. I mean, I had no regrets as to why my dad passed away or anything, because every one of us have to go one day or the other. Things happen, things like, rather than crying over it, I might as well be grateful that I at least got to spend 22 years with him. So I started taking it in a very positive way. Things like, whatever this I'm going through, I have to face it gracefully. It is my karma. Somewhere down the line, I feel that all five of us, my grandfather, grandmother, my brother, my mother, and me, our karmas met together at this point of time in life where we had to lose him in order to become something, in order to reach somewhere. So, might as well take it gracefully. It's definitely not easy, really, really not easy. It's a horrible feeling. Things got normal. My mom was still a little unshaky. I went back to college after 2 weeks. I really didn't have the time to actually sit and cry or deal with it completely. I had not dealt with it back then because I knew I had to stay strong. I went to college, things got back to normal, and suddenly came across a book about spirit communications. I of course was aware that spirit communications do happen, but I didn't know too much of details about it. So I asked my friend if she could help me to, if she could help me connect to my father. And she told me I will ask, but the only thing is only if he's willing to connect, will, he connect to you, or else he's not going to connect to you. And the other condition that she put is, if he's on a higher realm, that is a realm 4 and above, only then he can connect, or else if you're in the lower realms, you cannot connect. Luckily, she connected to my father. The first time I spoke to him was on his birthday. We spoke for about 2 hours. I will be talking about revelations during the spirit communication in my next video. He told me a lot of things about people, events, situations, and it was a very overwhelming moment because I've never felt anything like that in my life. It's beautiful. I think anyone who has ever lost your close ones, if you ever want to connect, if you ever want guidance, it's a good way to connect. It's not something scary. I think you only need a good mediator who can do it for you. You should connect. A lot of things my father told me, guided me in the last 3 years, which I still take his guidance. After I started speaking to him, I started communicating to him in my dreams through prayers. That is a time when I started to become more settled and more mentally at peace, thinking that okay, I'm still connected to him spiritually rather than physically. So it gave a lot of mental peace and satisfaction knowing that okay, he is out there looking after us. He used to visit us quite often at home. After that, prayers came into picture. I started praying, I started being grateful. All I used to ask in prayers was, if you're alright, if he's alright, even if he cannot send a message, you send it through somebody, and he would send it to somebody. Sometimes through somebody, sometimes he used to come and tell me. And as the months passed by, he started looking younger because he started rising higher eventually. He started looking very young, probably how a 21-year-old would look. He was like almost 47. So that is how, I became more at peace. He told me to chant Gayatri Mantra so that he is at peace. He told me to meditate. So my daily routine would be, to meditate, to chant Gayatri Mantra for a good 15-20 minutes, to do chakra therapy. I learned chakra therapy when I was in TY, so I knew, and it was to balance myself, to clean my aura of all the kind of negativity, to just shield myself from any kind of negativity, which really helped me because every time I shielded myself, I would keep telling myself that, any negativity that comes would go back to the same person who's sending it with double the force. So that really worked. It really kept me headstrong during that time. And I used to talk to my father every year, 2 to 3 months, depending on, how he wanted to connect and how, we could also connect. So I used to connect with him. I used to say my prayers every night. I used to do my chakra therapy. I used to meditate. I used to chant. So these things, I want to put across to everybody that we're not taught how to deal with death. It's something that none of us ever will be taught. This is my experience, this is what helped me, and I think it can help a number of people, you know. Anyone who wants to know anything, wants to get in touch, you can just mail me. There are people who are ready to do spirit communication to help you out, to guide you. So go ahead, don't be scared, do it. I am still in touch with my father, not as much because I think he is in another realm completely altogether, or he might probably have taken birth, I don't know, but he still connects. He is in a happy place, and yeah, so if you want you know, to deal with these kind of things, just be headstrong, have faith, things do work out at the end. And also death is not such a bad thing, you know. It's just a transition from the physical world to the spiritual world, which is an actual world. So I don't think you should hold somebody back, because when we cry it hurts them more than it hurts us. So you have to understand that. You have to understand these things, that you know, you have to let them go happily. Nobody is going to come and tell us these things. I learned all of this when I went through that pain. I have no idea where I got this strength from, where these thoughts came to me, but I truly feel grateful that these things happened to me, and because of these things I am here today, dealing with, you know, all the areas of life much better, in a more mentally stable condition, more emotionally stable condition. So go ahead, try it. If you're okay with spirit communications, or if you want to know anything, you can just mail me. I'm ready to help you out. So let me know, and stay tuned for the next video, as I'll be talking about revelations during the spirit communication. Thank you.